What happens when the life you've built feels like a cage you never chose? For women over 40, a quiet whisper often grows into a deafening roar, demanding change at any cost. Midlife isn't just a number, it's a psychological crossroads. For many women, the years of nurturing, sacrificing, balancing roles as partner, mother, or professional start to weigh heavier than ever. Psychologists call this the midlife transition, a phase where suppressed desires claw their way to the surface. It's not madness, it's a reckoning. The brain, wired to seek meaning, begins questioning, is this all there is? Studies show women in their 40s and 50s report higher rates of existential distress than men, often tied to decades of prioritizing others. The shadow of unfulfilled dreams, once dormant, starts to stir. Picture Claire, 42, standing in her pristine kitchen. The kids are grown, her husband's engrossed in his career, the house hums with routine. But last night, she stared at her reflection, not recognizing the woman looking back. She remembers art classes abandoned, trips never taken, the spark buried under laundry and PTA meetings. One evening, she snaps at her daughter over a trivial chore, her voice sharper than intended. It's not about the dishes, it's about the life she didn't live. Claire's story isn't unique. It's the spark of 1,000 small moments, building toward a breaking point. No one escapes the shadow of their unlived life. When ignored, it doesn't fade, it festers, demanding to be seen. This awakening isn't just personal, it's existential. Women over 40 face a collision between societal expectations, be the perfect wife, mother, professional, and their hunger for authenticity. The tension feels like a betrayal, not of family, but of self. Why does this shadow emerge now? Because time is no longer infinite. The clock ticks louder, the soul screams for meaning. But what happens when this scream shatters the fragile bonds of family? Let's uncover the invisible chains that bind her, and why breaking them feels like the only way out. What if the love that once anchored you now feels like a noose? For women over 40, the ties that bind can start to choke, urging a desperate leap toward freedom. Attachment theory tells us humans crave connection, but those bonds can twist into traps. Women in midlife carry decades of compromises, sacrificing dreams for partners, children, stability. Psychologists note secure attachments, built on mutual growth, falter when one person's needs evolve faster than the other's. For women over 40, the question isn't just who am I, but who am I outside this relationship? Studies suggest women are more likely than men to initiate separations in midlife, driven to reclaim autonomy. This isn't selfishness, it's survival. Meet Sarah, 45, married for 20 years. She's the glue of her family, planning vacations, mediating arguments, keeping peace. But lately, she feels invisible. Her husband, Tom, is kind but distant, lost in routine. One night, Sarah finds an old journal from her 20s, filled with dreams of writing novels, traveling alone. The words sting. She tries talking to Tom, but he brushes it off. We're fine, aren't we? The next week, she signs up for a writing retreat, not telling him until the tickets are booked. It's not a trip, it's a declaration. Sarah's choice sends ripples, kids confused, Tom defensive. She's not running from them, she's running toward herself. Love that demands your silence isn't love, it's a cage. Freedom starts when you dare speak your truth. Philosophically, this is a crucible. Stay, swallowing unrest, or leave, risking everything? Attachment theory warns breaking free feels euphoric but destabilizing, especially when families resist change. Sarah's retreat seems small, but it's a crack in the foundation. What drives her to risk it all? Is it courage, or something darker, a restlessness that could unravel everything? Let's explore why even the happiest lives feel like traps, and how chasing joy can lead to chaos. Why does the joy you chase now feel like dust in your hands? For women over 40, the pursuit of happiness turns into a relentless grind, where contentment slips away, leaving only hunger for more. Hedonic adaptation is psychology's cruel joke. The brain normalizes even the greatest highs, turning them mundane. What thrilled you at 25, marriage, kids, career milestones, fades into routine by 40. Studies from positive psychology show happiness levels return to a set point after major events, often within months. For women in midlife, this treadmill accelerates. Years of stability breed boredom, not bliss. The mind whispers, why settle for this? It's not ingratitude, it's biology. The dopamine rush from novelty wanes, pushing tendencies toward reinvention. When that reinvention clashes with family life, the fallout can devastate. Imagine Elena, 48, in her sunlit home office. She built a successful marketing career, raised 2 teens, shares a comfortable life with Mark. Yet, days blur. Promotions that excited her now feel hollow. She scrolls social media, envying friends' adventures, solo hikes, art residencies, new romances. One afternoon, Elena books a spontaneous Italy trip, alone, chasing her youth's thrill. Mark stunned, the kids think she's losing it. She returns energized, but the high fades fast. Soon, she questions her job, marriage, motherhood. Elena's quest for spark disrupts dinners, sparks arguments, leaves her family on eggshells. It's not chaos for chaos's sake, it's a bid to outrun the treadmill. The treadmill never stops, step off before it drags you under. Recognize the fade, seek sustainable sparks, not scorched earth. Philosophically, this is desire's endless cycle. As Schopenhauer warned, achieve one goal, another emerges. For women over 40, hedonic adaptation meets life's midpoint, amplifying urges for drastic shifts. Practical wisdom lies in small disruptions, hobbies, honest talks, before escalating to family fractures. But what if these urges stem from deeper echoes, regrets pulling like intermittent ghosts? Let's dive into the erratic pull of past regrets and future fears, fueling decisions that shatter the present. What if the ghosts of your past reward you just enough to haunt your present? For women over 40, intermittent echoes of regret and fear create a psychological slot machine, pulling levers toward chaos. Intermittent reinforcement is psychology's insidious trick. Sporadic rewards keep us hooked, like gamblers at the slots. In midlife, this plays through flashes of past regrets, missed opportunities, unspoken truths, and future fears, like aging alone or unfulfilled. These echoes hit unpredictably, amplifying intensity. Behavioral psychology shows intermittent rewards create stronger habits than consistent ones, explaining why a memory of a road not taken derails years of stability. For women over 40, accumulated experiences blend with hormonal shifts, societal pressures, turning reflections into compulsions. It's not weakness, it's the brain signaling unfinished business. When these pulls lead to impulsive actions, families bear the brunt. Consider Lila, 47, a teacher with a stable home, grown kids. Life was predictable until a high school reunion email stirred old waters. She remembers a scholarship she turned down for marriage, a journalism career shelved. One night, a dream of her vibrant, unbound younger self wakes her in tears. The next day, she confronts her husband about their stagnant routine, words spilling like venom. It's not planned, it's triggered by that intermittent echo. Soon, Lila quits her job on a whim, books therapy, distances from family gatherings. Her kids see a breakdown, her partner feels abandoned. Lila's not crazy, she's caught in the pull, where a regret rewards her with clarity, only to fade into fear of what's lost. The cycle repeats, eroding trust, unity. Ignore the past, and it screams louder. Face the echoes early, or they'll orchestrate your downfall. Existentially, this is the human condition, time's finite nature clashes with infinite what-ifs. Kierkegaard spoke of despair in repetition versus leaps of faith. For women in this phase, intermittent echoes force a reckoning, regrets from youth intermingle with fears of obsolescence, pushing erratic behaviors from a quest for meaning. Journal the echoes, share them before they explode. But what happens when these internal storms meet the mirror of self, cracking identities built on fragile roles? Let's confront the identity crisis, turning inward chaos outward, shattering reflections families hold dear. What happens when the face in the mirror no longer matches the life you've lived? For women over 40, an identity crisis can unravel the self, leaving families caught in the crossfire of transformation. Midlife triggers a psychological earthquake, where core roles, mother, wife, professional, feel like costumes worn too long. Empty nest syndrome, career stagnation, fading vitality spark questions: who am I beyond these roles? Research shows women in their 40s and 50s reassess self-worth, especially as society's value on youth or caregiving wanes. Attachment to old identities clashes with hunger for authenticity, creating a volatile pivot. This isn't a breakdown, it's a confrontation with the self. But when this shift manifests outwardly, it destabilizes family systems, as loved ones struggle to recognize the woman they knew. Meet Maria, 46, a nurse, mother of 3. Her youngest left for college, leaving the house quiet. For years, Maria was the anchor, scheduling, cheering, soothing fears. Now, she sees exhaustion in her reflection, not purpose. She joins a book club, starts yoga, dyes her hair impulsively, chasing a self she can't name. Her shifts alarm her family. Her husband, Paul, snaps when she skips Sunday brunch for a meditation retreat. Her kids whisper about mom's midlife crisis. Maria's not abandoning them, she's searching for a buried self. Her quest fractures routines, leaving everyone on edge, unsure of what's next. Deny your reflection, and it will haunt you. Embrace the evolving self before it demands a reckoning. Philosophically, this echoes Nietzsche's call to become who you are. It's painful but necessary shedding. Practical wisdom suggests small steps, hobbies, therapy, talks with loved ones, to integrate the self without torching family foundations. But when society's gaze amplifies this chaos, external pressures turn a personal journey into a public storm. What happens when cultural narratives collide with this fragile transformation? Let's explore how societal storms fuel the chaos, pushing women toward decisions rippling far beyond the self. How much of your turmoil is yours, and how much is the world's echo chamber? For women over 40, societal storms rage, amplifying unrest into behaviors tearing families asunder. External pressures form a relentless front, where cultural narratives paint aging women as fading relics or empowered rebels, rarely in between. Media bombards with youth eternal, while social comparisons via platforms, peers fuel envy, inadequacy. Social comparison theory links upward glances at ideal lives to dissatisfaction. For women in midlife, these spawns intersect internal shifts, turning self-exploration into perceived madness. It's not isolation, it's immersion in a culture devaluing maturity, pushing reinvention at any cost. Studies show women over 40 face more ageist messaging, correlating with relational strain. Behaviors seem erratic but respond to a world screaming perfection. Visualize Nina, 50, scrolling her feed late at night. Anti-aging ads mock her, friends post second honeymoons, career pivots, headlines decry midlife crises as selfish. Nina, a corporate executive, wife of 25 years, feels pressure mount. Society whispers she's past her prime, less desirable, less relevant. One weekend, inspired by a viral story of starting over, Nina quits her job to pursue painting, a shelled passion. Her husband's caught off guard, argues it's irresponsible, her kids accuse her of abandoning traditions. Nina's not unhinged, she's reacting to the storm. External noise drowns her voice, leading to decisions upending holidays, finances, bonds. What starts as validation spirals into discord, everyone questioning her sanity. Don't let the world's wind dictate your direction. Build resilience against the gale, or it uproots your roots. Philosophically, this echoes Foucault on power and discourse. Society shapes truths about age, worth, often to our detriment. Curate influences, limit social media, seek diverse midlife stories, ground decisions in values, not clamor. Even with shields raised, the storm's fury strikes home. What happens when this chaos crashes into family shores, fracturing foundations? Let's detail the ripple effects on families, revealing how one woman's turmoil echoes through generations. When one person's storm becomes everyone's flood, how deep do the cracks run? For women over 40 navigating midlife upheaval, chaos seeps into the family core, threatening to shatter decades-built foundations. Family systems theory views households as webs, where one shift tugs every thread. When a woman over 40 acts on unrest, sudden departures, emotional withdrawals, bold reinventions, the ripple mimics a psychological earthquake. Partners feel rejected, children experience abandonment fears, kin grapple with loyalties. Research links midlife transitions to higher divorce rates, estrangement, rooted in unaddressed resentments. It's not intentional destruction, it's suppressed needs exploding. Erratic moods, impulsive decisions, fueled by earlier psychological layers, disrupt routines, erode trust. The family, once a sanctuary, becomes a battlefield, love warring with confusion. Envision Olivia, 44, a homemaker turned entrepreneur in her mind. After supporting her husband's career, raising teens, her awakening hits like thunder. She starts therapy, demands space, suggests a trial separation to find herself. Her husband, David, reels, his reliable partner now distant, her words laced with accusations. The kids act out, the eldest skips school, the youngest withdraws. Dinners turn tense, holidays hollow. Olivia sees growth, her family sees betrayal. Whispers of mom's gone crazy amplify guilt, isolation. The foundation cracks, financial strains from her pursuits, emotional voids from absences, leaving everyone questioning roles. Olivia's liberation scatters family like debris in a gale. One tremor can topple the tower. Mend small fractures before they engulf the whole. Philosophically, this mirrors Aristotle's frailty. Pursuing flourishing can harm the communal good. Empathy rebuilds, dialogue, therapy, shared understanding turn crisis into growth. But in the ashes, is there renewal, or only remnants? Let's rise from the ruins, exploring how wisdom emerges, offering a phoenix-like rebirth for all. Can destruction birth something stronger? For women over 40 emerging from midlife chaos, ashes hold seeds of profound rebirth, where families mend, souls soar. Psychological growth demands a trial by fire. Midlife turmoil, with dark undercurrents of regret, reinvention, isn't an end, it's a forge. Post-traumatic growth shows adversity fosters resilience, empathy, deeper connections. Women navigating this phase report heightened self-awareness, drawing from attachment theory's evolution, hedonic adaptation's lessons. It's not erasing the crazy, it's integrating it into wisdom. Families transform, what broke rebuild stronger with honest communication. Philosophically, this echoes the phoenix myth, a cycle of death, renewal inherent to the spirit. Behold Rebecca, 52, surveying her upheaval's remnants. 2 years ago, her storm peaked, she left her marriage, pursued counseling, distanced from kids amid fallout. The family splintered, arguments echoed, trust waned. In therapy, Rebecca shared echoes, attachments, identity shifts. Bridges reformed. Her ex-husband found understanding, her kids, seeing her whole, drew closer through vulnerable talks. Today, Rebecca thrives, her family not restored but evolved, stronger, with boundaries, respect. Her story isn't triumph over madness, it's wisdom from the blaze, turning chaos into healing. Rise from the fire, or remain in the smoke. Embrace turmoil as a teacher, watch wisdom bloom. Existentially, this affirms Camus' absurd heroism, rebel against meaninglessness by creating your own. Mindfulness tames echoes, therapy aids identity, counseling weathers storms. For women over 40, their families, compassion is key, view behaviors as unmet needs, not indictments. What emerges? A richer life, deeper relationships, aligned soul. The path demands courage. Are you ready to face your shadows?